Today's lesson shows us the kinds of conflicts that we can expect as we live in this world. It's important that we understand how the different genders typically approach conflict if we're going to become skilled peacemakers. And it's important when we talk about the differences between men and women that we remember that those differences are not true for everyone. But we can get some general concepts and ideas that will be helpful. Research studies show us that girls and boys, men and women, fight differently. Psychologist Janet Lever did a study on elementary school playgrounds, and she watched little boys, she watched little girls over quite a long period of time, and what she found was that little boys fight 20 times more than girls physically. But she watched as they came back the next day, and very often they ended up better friends. It almost served as a bonding mechanism. Now, the little girls didn't fight as often, and they didn't fight physically. But oh my goodness, when they fought, they used words and mean words, and when they came back the next day, they were not friends. And in fact, very often, this conflict went on for months and months and months. Now, how does this research translate into adult behavior? Well, we find with women that they tend to be more indirect with their aggression. When we women fight, we want to remain hidden. A lot of times we're trying to protect ourselves. We're trying to disguise our hostile intentions in order to avoid retaliation or social condemnation. So we gossip, or we divulge secrets, or we make indirect insinuations and insulting comments. We're undermining and sabotaging and snubbing and withholding, all the while playing nice. Well, why are women often so indirect? Every study on gender differences in the last 30 years has shown us that women, by and large, as they perceive life, live in a web of relationships. I'm a very focused, goal-driven woman, and yet when I see my life, I see it in terms of these relationships. My relationship with God, with my husband, with my children, grandchildren, colleagues, and friends. And very often, sometimes, women's relational perspectives get in the way of their identity and their security. They look too much to people for those things. And so conflict can seem like a threat to this connectedness in the female mind. And when we see it that way, it's to be avoided at all costs. We also need to consider the way little girls are socialized. From the day a family brings a little boy or a little girl home from the hospital, very often, most of the time, they're teaching them how to live as a little boy or how to live as a little girl, and that's a good thing. We need gender identity, except if we socialize little girls to be so soft and so sweet and so nice that a gracious directness feels wrong. You combine this niceness with little girls' relational bent and women's relational bent, and you have a formula for indirect aggression. Over the last 10 years, I've participated in a number of meetings, male-led, and the number of women who were in attendance was usually small. And occasionally the men would raise their voices and exchange words in a heated debate. What would happen to the women when that was going on? Well, when the ethos heats up, we women normally shut down. How can men disagree so strongly and not be wounded the way we women often are? Men seem to be able to compartmentalize and to focus just on the issue so it doesn't get personal. They argue and then they go out and have lunch together or do whatever they do and forget about it. The exchange to them is specific and focused. For us women, it takes about a nanosecond for it to get personal. And if we don't get very careful and really focus on working through our woundedness in the way that Jesus directed in Matthew 18:15 through 17, very often that conflict for women goes on and on and on. Apply what you learn in this lesson. It's going to help you become skilled at biblical peacemaking. It's going to help you be a woman who is more direct and more biblical in the way she handles the conflicts that come up in all of our lives.